In this video, filmed in May 2019, we embark on a riverboat voyage on the Singapore River in a bumboat. We also catch a few glimpses of the Singapore River from 25 years earlier, as we contrast the two time periods. We get our first look at the Singapore River from the top deck of Singapore's big bus, before we disembark at Clarke Quay to catch our boat. We embark at Clarke Quay and proceed downriver past the Merlion. Then we loop around Marina Bay and return up the river, travelling the short distance past our embarkation point at Clarke Quay before we reach Riverside Point, turning around there and turning back to disembark. From Clarke Quay, we set sail going downriver towards Marina Bay. These rivercraft are called bumboats. This does not imply that passengers need to remain seated, but it stems from the Dutch words for canoe and boat, or tree boat. They were originally used to supply provisions and commodities for sale to ships moored offshore. Bumboats have changed in design over the years, now becoming tour boats rather than cargo vessels. These boats are incredibly well engineered, with exceptional hull design. At the river's speed limit of 5 knots, there is very little wash. The bow wake is almost non-existent. Most boats of this size would leave a substantial wave behind them to wash up on the shore. I seem to remember that in 2019 there were two bumboat operators on the Singapore River. There were Singapore River Cruises and Singapore River Explorer. They both travelled the same route. The only differences seem to be that one painted their boats yellow and the other green. I think now, in 2024, both companies have merged into one. On the right, we're approaching a strange groin, which seems to have no reason for its existence. Its purpose can be understood when it's realised that this was the original location of the Singapore Merlion, at that time located at the mouth of the Singapore River. Originally, it was looking out to sea, but that was before the Esplanade Bridge was constructed and the river mouth was reclaimed, which left the Merlion looking at a bridge and was largely invisible. In 2002, our Merlion was moved around to Marina Bay, where he stands to this day. At that time, the Singapore Barrage was also built to prevent seawater from entering into the Singapore River. What once was saltwater now is freshwater. Marina Bay and the Singapore River are now freshwater. Our Merlion comes into view, now looking over Marina Bay. We have incredible weather today. We rarely seem to find blue skies here in Singapore. Usually they are silver and quite glaring. The flying saucer shaped building is a good idea of how Singapore has developed over the years from the 1990s to 2019.
Go out and come in again. Pour water. Go out and come in
What a contrast! Dragon boats out in force and we sneak past in a bumboat. What better way to get a look over Marina Bay than to go for a trip on the Singapore Flyer.
Several activities from waterfront, cycling to rollerblading. It is also home to the East Coast, to traditional cafes serving local coffee or tea. Or take a stroll at East Coast.
At the bottom of the screen, the Helix pedestrian bridge is visible. We have looped around Marina Bay and now have commenced our return voyage. We go past the Singapore Performing Arts Centre, looking for all the world like a giant durian. We say goodbye to our Merlion as we proceed back upriver past the groin the Merlion once stood on.
Commercial districts along the riverbanks of this budding island city. The large building we're passing on the right was Singapore's first courthouse, Parliament House. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it a UFO? Don't worry, what not Supreme Court of Singapore? Now this is Elgin Bridge, named after the then Governor General of India, contributions to Singapore's development. Appointed the first Superintendent of Public Works in Singapore, Coleman brought with him an architectural style known as Palladian, a combination of
Visible in the distance, on the opposite side of the Coleman Bridge, is Clarke Quay, where we get a spectacular view back towards us. As well as seeing our bumboat approaching, preparing to pass under the bridge, we also, at the same time, focus in on the Marina Bay Sands Hotel in the distance, rising like a model ship on a stand, forming Singapore's most iconic landmark, along with the Merlion, of course. Clarke Quay looked very different 25 years ago. The bumboats operating then were rather primitive, with old cart and truck tyres slung over the sides as buffers. Very different to today. We sail past our embarkation point, past some giant bumboats, now operating as stationary floating restaurants, onto Riverside Point. A turtle is on the surface near the last bridge we pass under. It appears to be a good age, judging by the seaweed growing on its shell. It also appears to have suffered a previous injury, for it looks like it's lost a leg. That is, until some boats pass by, then it pops out the fourth leg, which we thought was missing, but it was just resting it, and swims off to the safety of the river bottom.
Does have two legs.
We turn around once more and travel downstream as far as Clarke Quay, where our cruise terminates and we disembark. Although this is as far as we go on this trip, the river continues on upstream for some distance. We once again passed the giant bumboats, looking very tired and forlorn during daylight hours. Immediately, on the opposite side of the giant bumboats, we arrived back at our destination and disembarked. This was a trip on Singapore's bumboats in May 2019.